What if your thoughts aren't really yours? What if the decisions you think you're making are actually planted in your mind by someone else? No swinging pendulum. No stage magicians. No, you are getting sleepy nonsense. I'm talking about real, scientifically backed mental manipulation. The kind you don't even notice until it's already done. Dark psychology, covert hypnosis, neurolinguistic traps, techniques used by master manipulators to rewire how you feel, think, and behave. You might have seen it in abusive partners, cult leaders, pickup artists, even charismatic influencers. But here's the terrifying part. You don't need to believe in hypnosis for it to work. Your subconscious never asks for your permission. Today we'll reveal how everyday language can hypnotize, how dark psychologists prey on your vulnerabilities, and how to finally recognize when someone's playing with your mind. Zara, a 26-year-old journalist, walked into therapy looking for clarity, a toxic breakup, burnout, insomnia. She needed help, and Dr. Khalid came highly recommended. He was calm, soothing voice. He always seemed to know what to say. She felt safe. But then, strange things started happening. Zara would leave sessions feeling peaceful, but foggy, like she'd forgotten parts of what was said. She began making decisions that didn't feel like her own, cutting off friends, quitting side projects, letting go of boundaries, all because Dr. Khalid said it would help. He never yelled, never advised directly, just gentle suggestions, repeated weekly. You're too overwhelmed to deal with drama. You need silence, not distractions. You trust me, right? Zara began doubting her own memory. Her confidence slowly eroded. She felt dependent on him, like he understood her more than anyone. But one day, after missing a session, she had a panic attack, not from the stress, but from being away from him. That's when she realized this wasn't therapy. It was control. Dr. Khalid wasn't healing her. He was hypnotizing her, using subtle language, rapport building, anchoring techniques to mold her identity from the inside out. Zara left, but the fog took months to clear. Even now, she wonders which thoughts were hers and which were his. Let's get one thing straight. Hypnosis is real, and dark psychology isn't some comic book villain trick. It's a set of techniques used to bypass logic and speak directly to your subconscious. Here's how it works and how it's used to manipulate you. 1. Rapport and mirroring. Manipulators begin by matching your energy, your tone, your body language. It builds trust quickly, and once trust is in, logic checks out. 2. Pattern interrupts. Ever get confused mid-conversation and just agree without thinking? That's no accident. They'll confuse you briefly, then insert a command when your brain is most vulnerable. 3. Embedded commands. I wonder how good it would feel to open up to me. Sounds harmless, right? But inside is a command. Open up to me. Your subconscious hears it, even if your conscious mind doesn't. 4. Anchoring. They attach emotional triggers to certain phrases or gestures. Smile plus compliment equals reward loop. Criticism plus silence equals punishment. Soon, you change your behavior just to avoid discomfort or to earn praise. 5. Storytelling hypnosis. They use metaphors and stories that mirror your pain, then offer a solution inside the story. You absorb it without resistance because your guard is down. 6. Time distortion. Sessions that feel like 10 minutes were actually an hour, or vice versa. It's intentional, done to disarm your sense of control. 7. Confusion technique. They speak in loops, use vague language, overwhelm your logic so you become mentally exhausted and more suggestible. 8. False choice framing. Would you rather be calm today or even calmer tomorrow? Both options lead where they want, but you feel in control. 9. Future pacing. They talk about your future as if it's already decided. When you start feeling better, you'll understand why I did this. Your brain fills in the blanks and starts believing it. 10. Isolation of logic. They make emotion the focus. You feel it, right? You just know it. And slowly, you stop needing evidence. You just feel the truth they planted. This isn't magic. It's psychology, and it's being used in real relationships, corporate meetings, self-help cults, even YouTube channels. You won't see a pendulum. No close your eyes command. No creepy voice whispering sleep. Real mind control. It looks like your daily routine, your relationships, your quiet, private thoughts. Here's what covert manipulation really feels like. You feel calmer around them, but more confused within yourself. You start giving up your opinions, not because they argued, but because you don't feel like debating. They use vague phrases like, trust the process. You'll understand soon. Don't think too hard, just feel it. You start noticing you laugh less around your old friends, but more around them. even when you're sad. You begin second-guessing your memories. Did they really say that, or am I misremembering? You make decisions, but can't explain why you made them. You just felt like you should. You've started finishing their sentences, but deep down, you're not sure if it's intuition or programming. You feel guilty for setting boundaries, even when nothing was wrong, just because they made a face. You constantly rephrase your messages to avoid misunderstandings. You find yourself drawn to them, even when they say hurtful things. They say you're too sensitive after they said something cruel. They turn helpfulness into obedience. It's just advice. I'm not forcing you, but you follow it like law. You notice they ask questions in statements. You're not going to wear that, are you? You don't really want to talk to them anymore, right? You begin doubting whether your reactions are valid. You keep thinking, maybe I'm overreacting. You can't remember when you last made a decision just for yourself without checking how they'd react. Your voice is softer now. Your text shorter. Your opinions diluted. You apologize more, even for things you didn't do. When something good happens, your first instinct is to ask, will they be okay with this? You feel safe with them, but also anxious when they're not around. You've noticed you mirror their opinions, not to agree, but to survive. When you bring up your discomfort, they say, stop being so emotional. You're imagining things. You're too analytical. You feel like you become someone else, calmer, quieter, smaller. They reward you with praise, but only when you agree with them. They use silence as punishment. You can feel the coldness, even when they say, I'm fine. You avoid certain topics, not because they're private, but because you fear their reaction. You crave their approval like oxygen and feel empty without it. You tell yourself, I'm better because of them. Even when you've lost yourself in the process, you think about how to say no for days and end up saying yes anyway. You once dreamed big. Now you just hope things stay calm. You smile on the outside and spiral inside. You fantasize about being alone, but fear what that would cost you. You feel shame when you even think about leaving them. You start using their words, their phrases, even their tone, and it creeps you out. You pray they never get upset, because when they do, you feel like you failed. You defend them to others, even when your gut says otherwise. You feel like something is off, but you can't prove it. And every time you try to explain it, it sounds crazy. You find yourself saying, I know this sounds strange, but far too often, you're mentally exhausted, but they call it growth. They say they're helping you, but you feel more and more dependent. You wake up with a heavy chest, and no clear reason why. You say, I'm fine, and even you don't believe it. You've Googled, am I being manipulated? More than once. You once trusted your gut. Now it's silent. You tell yourself, this isn't abuse, it's just intense. You start wondering if freedom is overrated. You no longer need chains to feel trapped. Just one person with the right words at the wrong time. These aren't signs of weakness. They're symptoms of psychological manipulation. And if any of this sounds familiar, it's not your fault, because the best manipulation doesn't look like control. It looks like care, but feels like captivity. Let's get one thing clear. You can't control who tries to manipulate you, but you can control who succeeds. Here's how to protect your mind before someone else owns it. 1. Name what's happening. The first weapon? Awareness. The moment you say, this is manipulation, it begins to lose power. 2. Don't trust too fast, too soon. If someone praises you intensely after knowing you for 3 days, that's not connection. That's programming. 3. Pause before agreement. They ask something, pause. Buy time. Breathe. Hypnotic influence thrives on impulse. Kill the impulse. Kill the control. 4. Watch how you feel, not just what they say. Forget the words. Ask, do I feel drained after talking to them? Do I feel smaller, quiet, or confused? That's your clue. 5. Set internal boundaries. You don't owe anyone your emotional openness. You don't owe a yes just because they framed it nicely. You're allowed to say, I'm not ready to answer that. 6. Limit one-on-one exposure to high-pressure types. Dark persuaders love private settings, low lighting, quiet spaces. They don't want you to think. They want you to absorb. 7. Track pattern, not performance. One kind word doesn't erase 6 mind games. Don't get trapped in their nice phase. Look for consistency, not charm. 8. Use a reality anchor. Have one trusted friend, mentor, or journal that you check in with. Say, here's what they said. Does it sound off? Because manipulators isolate you and confuse your reality. 9. Stay physically grounded in conversations. If you feel lightheaded or floaty during intense talks, move your fingers, touch the table, feel your feet. Your body anchors you. Your mind can be tricked. 10. Ask hard questions out loud. Why am I agreeing to this? Who benefits if I say yes? Would I do this if they weren't so charming? 11. Don't explain your boundaries. You don't need a 5-minute speech to say, I'm not comfortable. If they argue, they were never safe. 12. Refuse to be rushed. Any sentence that starts with, you just need to trust me, means you shouldn't. 13. Reclaim mental silence. Manipulators flood your mind, so reclaim quiet. Go on walks without devices. Spend 15 minutes daily doing nothing. You'll hear your own thoughts again. 14. Use a pattern interrupt. When you feel the fog setting in, change the scene. Get up, drink water, change rooms. Movement breaks momentum. 15. Practice polite disengagement. Learn to smile and say, interesting, then walk away. You don't owe energy to psychological predators. 16. Keep record of emotional shifts. Track when your moods dip and who you were with. Your emotional body tells the truth before your logic does. 17. Don't just listen, observe. Anyone can say, I care about you, but do their actions respect your boundaries? 18. Reverse the frame. When someone says, you're overreacting, ask, what would you do if someone spoke to your sister like that? 19. Refuse isolation. Dark psychology thrives in silence. Stay connected. Even if it's just one person who gets it, stay in touch. 20. Accept that manipulation feels good sometimes. That's the trap. They'll make you feel special before they make you feel small. Don't confuse the high with health. 21. Exit with intention. If you realize someone's controlling you, plan your exit. Do it calmly. No drama. Just distance. 22. Strengthen inner dialogue. Every morning, ask, what do I want today? It reclaims your narrative. 23. Seek professional help, not just validation. Therapists trained in NLP, cult recovery, or emotional abuse can help rewire your mental freedom. 24. Forgive yourself for falling into it. You weren't stupid. You were targeted. That's not weakness. It's humanity. 25. Say this to yourself every night. I do not belong to anyone. My mind is mine. And anyone who truly loves me will never try to own it because awareness is survival. But boundaries? That's freedom. What if I told you the scariest form of control isn't physical, it's psychological. It doesn't wear chain. It wears comfort. It doesn't scream orders. It whispers what you want to hear because the most dangerous manipulation feels like love, looks like guidance, sounds like help, but steals your choices bit by bit. Maybe you felt it. That foggy silence after conversation. That pit in your stomach before a sweet voice calls again. That growing fear that maybe you're not thinking for yourself anymore. If any of this resonated, you're not crazy. You're not weak. You're not broken. You were influenced. And now you're aware. That awareness, it's your weapon. Because now you see the strings. And no puppet dances when it sees the wires. Take a moment. Breathe deep. Ask yourself, whose voice echoes in your head when you doubt yourself? Who taught you to shrink? Who made you believe obedience was love? And now ask, who would you be without that voice? Because you deserve more. More clarity, more peace, more self. Not the edited version someone shaped for their benefit. Have you ever caught yourself under someone's influence? What helped you wake up? Share your story in the comments. It could open someone's eyes. And if this episode sparks something inside you, don't let it fade. Subscribe. There's more truth ahead, and we're diving deep. Hit the bell icon so you never miss another psychological reveal. Share this video with someone who feels off balance. They might not even realize their mind isn't theirs anymore. Until next time, stay sharp, stay sovereign, and always remember, your mind is your home. Don't hand over the keys.